And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on Antiga Shipyard, and in the lower right-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player from Team SCV Life. It is HyuN. He's up 3-0 on the moment over his opponent. Here in the upper left-hand corner, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It is C. And I want to say right now that I have a lot of respect for C for playing this match. It's, you know, he's relatively new to the competitive SE2 scene, but he wanted to try and test his mettle against TSL.HyuN. A lot of players have refused to participate or said that they didn't want to participate against HyuN or have dropped out, and C did no such thing. So I think a lot of credit has to be given to him just for even jumping on this stage.
Yeah, and obviously it's admirable to put yourself in the spotlight there. You know, if C is successful, if he can somehow win 5 games here before HyuN can win another 2, that would be pretty monumental. I mean, that would obviously give him a huge boost, not just, you know, not just in the eyes of spectators and things, but also personally for him to be able to perform better later on. He's like, hey, I'm the guy who killed TSL.HyuN. So there's always that chance that he's able to fight his way back, and if he does, that's going to be a huge, huge story. So we'll see if Liquid.Sea can make something happen here on Antiga to try to get that process started.
Well, he is walling in up at the front now. A little bit different than last game, of course, but took a risk and it didn't pay off. HyuN, though, was able to, well, basically perfectly execute everything over the last 2 games. Game number 1 was a little bit rougher. C was able to stabilize on 3 bases very early on Entombed Valley and force the late game. Had a couple of interesting decisions when he went out to attack. In this case, though, he, you know, the last 2 games have been very one-sided, honestly. Yeah, and I mean, mostly it's because HyuN has been just rushing him down, and C just hasn't had the infrastructure. You know, he's stayed alive on Ohana and in the first map on Entombed Valley, but he didn't actually have a whole lot left standing. He lost double-digit workers in the first 10 minutes in both of those games and stabilized a bit, but just could not keep things rolling. C, I think his best look so far was Entombed Valley. Obviously, it wasn't Daybreak. I'm actually curious of the win statistics of HyuN on Daybreak in Fight Club, because it gets played every time, and I feel like he always does amazingly on it, so it's a tough one to pick against him. Okay, well, we'll see if C can start to right the ship and turn things around now. He's going to get a good look at his opponent's base. Sees the hatchery coming up at just the right time. He's even going to pick up on gas, so he knows what's underway here. And like I said, if he's done his homework, he's got a good idea of what HyuN likes to do, well, in pretty much every ZVT. All right, so we've got C just building both gas at the same time, getting a command center down into natural. Still not a whole lot in the way of defense, but at least this time he got a full scout, so he knows that he's not going to die in the next minute at least. And he is going to scout that 3rd base location as well to make sure HyuN isn't doing a super fast triple expand. He's saving the SCV as well so that he can get back over there in a minute and a half and find out if it drops at that normal 6-minute time. But it's not going to because the Roach Warden is coming up at 4.5 minutes like we saw on Entombed. Now, what HyuN likes to do, sometimes he'll all-out Roachling all in and just try and punish his opponent, win the game right there. Sometimes he'll decide to go for a little bit more measured approach, produce 8 to 10 roaches, test the front a little bit, and drone it behind that and start to expand. So we'll see what variation of this it's going to be. Yeah, and Entombed it was the back off, try to expand, although he didn't even expand. He just went to kind of a slow layer and was able to take it from there with the Infestors actually coming out. And then once he finally got Hive up, he went to Broodlords, but he did not actually put up the 3rd base very quickly that time. So we'll see. He does have 7 roaches in production now, probably will get up to 10 like we usually see before starting to scuttle his way across the map. Did he get Zergling speed yet? Can we check the pool? Okay, so had he done that already, I would say it would be the follow-up variety, but the fact that he would have to start it after this original wave of roaches makes me think he's just going to fling these at him and see what sticks sort of thing, and then just back off. This is an awfully lot of roaches, though. With the next 3, he's going to be up to a total of 12. And he has reached his supply cap, so we'll see how he wants to follow this up, but this is still going to be quite a bit for C to try and battle against.
Yeah, and with one bunker already prepared, I think the Roaches probably will be able to power it down unless C has a number of more SCVs. The Hellions are going to come out and greet these Roaches, try to micro back and do some damage. That was nice, actually, doing the damage in a line there, actually hitting multiple Roaches. We've got 4 Marines inside the bunker now. The SCVs need to be pulled. Yeah, I think he will. Okay, he's going to pull some from the main as well. Ooh, it looks like he did a little bit of a double take, but a lot of SCVs are going to die here one way or another. It's just a matter of what C has standing at the end of this.
Yeah, and how much HyuN has actually produced behind this as well, because he has lost a few Roaches now, but he's sitting on 31 workers to his opponent's 22 at the moment. And C looks like he was hitting a little bit more aggression as the game went along. Looks like the bunker will finally die, but the Marauder has done its damage now, and C is starting to fight this back. In the process, though, he's lost 14 workers, so his economy is a little bit underneath his opponent's for now. But HyuN's not really following this up with anything.
Yeah, this, again, looks exactly like we saw on Entombed Valley. There's no hatchery coming up, just a couple of drones, no Ling follow-up, and there is that little bit slower layer this time. And yeah, he's just going to continue on to the infestation pit like we saw in the first game. I would not be surprised. So C, having already played in the first game, should realize what sort of things he's going to have to be dealing with. He needs to figure out how he wants to deal with infestors and how he wants to deal with eventual broodlords. So the starport at this point might actually be going ahead and creating some Vikings.
Now there's a couple of key differences here. If you remember the games against ByuN decided to invent a time that was meant to disrupt the common build from HyuN that was based around Marauders, Hellions, and Marines with Stim pretty early on, attack with 2 medevacs, and it was designed to disrupt exactly the moment that HyuN normally ran across the map with 8 Roaches. That's almost what C was doing here. In fact, it may very well have been that exact build that ByuN was doing. But unfortunately, because of the initial pressure, he was a little bit slow to pull that off. And as a consequence, he's a little bit behind on economy, even where he was in comparison to the game on Entombed Valley. So he has a little more of an uphill battle, but a little bit stronger force to try and inflict damage at the beginning of the game.
Okay, yeah, he is actually marching his way across the middle of the map. He's got actually map control at this time. He's got control of the Zelnaga Tower. He's only going to have to get past a couple of Lings, maybe even a couple of Roaches. Yeah, 4 Roaches there as the guard for HyuN, and obviously any Queens that happen to still be alive there. And with more Marines being added on, here come the first couple of medevacs. I think that will be the trigger that he needs to try and go attack here.
All right, with 2 Marauders, he can soak quite a few shots, and he'll need to because the Baneling Nest is just about to finish up. Infestation Pit's on the way as well, but with pathogen glands, etc. that need to research, it's going to be quite a while before that will actually get done.
All right, Zergling Speed has just finished, though, so these Lings will be joining the fight very quickly. With Baneling Nest completed as well, we see 6 Banelings in production. C is going to take out the creep right here in the middle of the area with all the creep, not actually the ones on the fringe, but that's okay. Ooh, he's going to catch this hatchery while it's still in production, but now he's pinned in on the ramp. These Banelings are going to be massive. No, he loads up tons of units there. Banelings do kill quite a lot of units, but C does still have a lot intact. He's going to drop immediately back inside this 3rd base location and try to kill this hatchery again.
Great juke there, and these units for C are going to get caught out. They'll take a few more Zerglings in return, but he kills a base at the same time and should be able to pick up and get out of there. So a good play on his part. He has his 3rd command center coming up as well.
Yeah, he forces the cancel out of HyuN and buys himself a little bit more time. He probably should consider getting out of there because there is no real anti-air threat at the moment. He can actually stick around as long as the medevacs are still functional. He can you know, stick around with these forces, try to do a little bit more damage, but no, it looks like now he wants to split up, not actually go attack in. He's actually just wanting to return home with those forces if he fears a counterattack. Actually finds an Overlord kind of out in the middle as well. Going to try and power that down. Don't think he's going to get it, but he does actually. So nice pickup for C before heading home. He gets a nice Overlord kill for himself, and his 3rd base is going to be established here soon.
Now, Cirque players lately have been less concerned with being down bases or on equal bases with their opponents because they have been playing a lot more tech heavy. HyuN being somewhat of an exception to that, as he's still a player who loves kind of strong aggression in the mid-game, but his play has been transforming in the past few weeks towards that more standard Zerg play that we've been seeing. As such, HyuN's not as worried as he normally would be losing this 3rd base, but on the flip side of things, you never want to be a true 2-base Zerg, so he's getting it back up as quick as possible, but he certainly has recovery options, especially with the amount of infestors that are about to pop out.
Yeah, with all these infestors, he can basically stall and defend anything that he needs to from C at the moment. HyuN is actually above C in supply by about 15. This Overseer is going to get picked off by the Viking. And another hatchery. Oh, no, that's actually that third base hatchery still trying to get completed. The Hive is on the way now, and we'll see that transition into Broodlords here soon. C, on the other hand, is adding on an armory. His upgrades are a bit slow this time around, not keeping up quite as well this time as he did on Entombed Valley. I'm going to be curious to see if he builds any Thors this time around as well, like he tried to do on Ohana. And this drop is actually not going to work out very well if HyuN was paying attention. It looks like he does have some roaches prepared and a Baneling as well.
Okay, so it looks like HyuN is going to lose the Overlord off to the side, but yeah, oh, that Baneling's coming right in. Good reaction time from C, though. And he picks up and gets out of there. He's thinking about dropping another place as well. But he gets it caught with a fungal.
All right, so the medevac can't actually drop anything where it's at right now. It is going to die full of Marines. Ouch, that really hurts for C. C is going to try and clear out these Overlords, at least do a little bit of damage with this Viking. He's not going to be able to drop in there, though, not with all these roaches. And that Baneling, wow, actually warding off the Viking. I'm surprised C didn't just, go for it there.
Okay, so let's kind of take stock of where we're at. Tier 3 tech in the Hive is just about to finish up. Does C have an idea of that? Yeah, it looks like he saw just barely starting to morphin, I think. No, that was still just Lair. Never mind. He's going to get another full drop killed, though, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. So Hive is now done. The Spire's almost finished as well. A fourth base is coming up for HyuN, so he's got quite a good economy to go along with this. C's actually going to move out one more time at a pretty low supply mark here and try and get some very real damage done. Sitting on 55 workers means he has a pretty stout army, but we'll see if this is going to be enough to put pressure on HyuN.
Well, he's got 5 tanks. C has 5 tanks moving across now towards HyuN. HyuN obviously has a lot of infestors standing, I think 5 count still. Maybe more by this point. Let's look at units real quick.
There you go.
How many infestors?
6.
Okay, so not too unmanageable if he can manage to get them down with those siege tanks. Oh, the bait Marines, though, from C did not actually work out too great, as the siege tanks did splash on everything that was fungled there. And C is going to do this drop. See, I like this a lot better because now HyuN has to deal with the siege force or the drop. He can't really deal with both at the same time, so C can start to get an advantage with one or the other. The fact that he is going to go drop and reconvene here at his siege line is kind of nice. He's moving out with another big force from his natural now.
And he's been pretty light on medevacs the entire time for more attack units.
Look at that mini-map.
Oh, that's a lot of units rolling out. And he only had 2 of his tanks actually ready to go. So all 4 tanks get destroyed immediately. That infestor at the back was so critical in dropping down infested Terrans and able to actually clean up or absorb a lot of the siege tank shots and get his Zerglings in position.
Yeah, HyuN did that at a perfect time, too, because if these reinforcements had arrived just a moment sooner, that actually could have been really tough for HyuN to be able to escape with as many units as he did. There is still an infestor tagging along with that tank, so that's kind of funny. He's going to be able to track the troop movements of C and also be able to jump on them if he gets some more energy up. The hatch is going to get taken out, but a lot of Lings actually coming in are going to be able to destroy everything. That medevac has something 2 HP left. Is he going to have to use a fungal on that? Not enough energy, so the medevac will escape with the tank intact.
Okay, that's pretty remarkable rescue there. If C actually comes back and wins this game, there'll be a movie made about that escape right there, picking up the tank and getting out of there. All right, so let's see. 4th Command Center coming up for C. He's got pretty good economy so far, still on 57 workers. Obviously, his opponent, though, is now on 7 Broodlords, with an additional 7 Corruptors coming out to help supplement his army.
Yep, Broodlords are the point where C sort of crumbled a little bit in the first map, and HyuN has more this time than he did previously. If they do find a tank line kind of exposed, those Broodlords will do a great job there. C is going to send 2 more medevacs around the side, but it looks like that Ling that's on patrol and burrowing will actually catch sight of that. So a bunch of Corruptors coming over, as well as those tons of Lings that we saw standing earlier on. They're going to come respond to this, and I don't think C's going to be able to really do anything here.
Oh, he's staging up and waiting for these drops, but that is a large Corruptor force waiting for him, and that is a huge problem for C.
Man, 2 medevacs full of Marines. That is what 20 supply there, just instantly gone, no benefit. That really hurts C, who's already arguably behind. We've got all these Broodlords in the sky now. Corruptor's just blasting through these medevacs, clearing the way, and C GG's before the big encounter even needs to happen. He just did not have enough support for his tanks, and he knew it, seeing all those Broodlords there.
And HyuN is now up 4-0. He's just one game away from taking his 10th week at IPL Fight Club, and it looks like C is going to pick Cloud Kingdom as his next map.
Okay, so Cloud Kingdom, Kedaria, and Whirlwind all still out there. I think Atlantis Spaceship is still available. Metropolis is still available. So Cloud Kingdom is going to be C's choice for the next map. HyuN entering all kill territory. 4-0 is already extremely good, and C just has not been able to scrounge up enough pieces at one time. His drops are really getting caught out way too often on Antiga Shipyard there, so he needs to really, really focus on his drop management here in Game 5 if he's going to try and eke out a win.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and run to a commercial break. When we get back, guys, it's going to be time for game number 5. C needs to come back and win 5 games in a row. Can he start that process? We'll find out in just a minute.